person I want to introduce is I met this guy about 6 months after my transplant, and we hit it off pretty quickly. One reason being is that we've got some mutual interest when it comes to extracurricular activities. He likes to fish, hunt deer, and he likes to play with things that go bang and boom just like I do. He's the kind of guy that would give you the shirt off his back if it was the only one he had and it was 15 degrees outside. In fact, he'd even give you one of his kidneys if you needed it. In fact, he did that just several years ago. He donated a kidney to a complete stranger. And if you ask him why he did it, he'll say one thing: it was the right thing to do. That's it. It was the right thing to do. How many of us could do that? His giving spirit is the reason I knew he was one to serve on this board alongside me. He was one of the first living donors to ever medal at the U.S. Transplant Games, which he did in 2010. He's better known as the fastest old guy with only one kidney. And his name is George Blank. Mr. Secretary. You were the one that started that one. All right. The other board member will also serve as our treasurer. She's a special lady. When Joy and I first met her in the summer after my transplant, she didn't greet me with a simple hello and a handshake. She gave me a big hug. February marks not only 5 years since my transplant, it also marks 11 years since her son Tommy passed away in a tragic car accident. That night, Tommy saved lives. That night, Tommy became a hero to many who had never known him. That night, Tommy made a difference, which is going to last for years to come. Joy and I affectionately refer to her as Mama Doris. She is Doris Gray. Doris. Well, this is the last member of the team, but she is certainly not the least. I met her about the same time I met both George and Doris, maybe even a little bit before. And when I first ran my idea for the Tennessee Organ Donation Foundation by Joy, Joy believed that getting her on board was probably the most important ingredient to our success. Joy believed we wouldn't make it without her. She's not a transplant recipient. She's not a living donor. She's not a donor family member. And she believes in the importance of organ and tissue donation just as much as any of the rest of us. She's also a talented singer-songwriter and has graciously agreed to serve as the organization's volunteer coordinator. She is Misty Army. Now let me kind of lay out the plan a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Our plan for this organization is we're going to start in Davidson and Wilson counties. We're going to attend community events such as county fairs, holiday celebrations, and parades. We're going to visit schools, churches, civic organizations, health fairs, and anywhere else they'll let us in. At each of these events, we're going to speak to the public, We're going to hand out information about organ and tissue donation and how a person can register as a donor. Before the end of the year, we hope to purchase some tablet computers to have at these events, to where when we're talking to somebody and we get them interested on signing up as an organ and tissue donor, they can do it right there before they even leave. As our resources allow, then later on we're going to expand into the 9 counties that surround Davidson and Wilson. That will include Williamson, Rutherford, Cheatham, Robertson, Sumner, Trousdale, Smith, DeKalb, and Cannon. Next, our goal is to provide financial assistance to transplant recipients who are unable to afford their anti-rejection medications. Why? Well, we know that sometimes folks who have received transplants can't afford their medicine. And when they can't, it can lead to bad things happening. They can go into rejection, lose their transplant, and sometimes they even lose their life. That's unacceptable to me. And I know firsthand how expensive those drugs are because they keep me alive every day. Plus, if we can prevent folks that have had transplants from going into rejection, possibly losing those organs and needing to be transplanted again, that expands the pool of available organs for others that need the very first transplant. Plus, once you've received a transplanted organ, that's a gift that you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose because you're sick for so long. You don't want to lose that gift that you've been given. But once we accomplish these things here in Middle Tennessee, then one day, as the Lord provides the resources, we hope to expand out into other areas of our great state. We're planning on holding our first events in the local communities in April. Now, why is April significant? It's Donate Life Month. Can't think of a better time to get out there and get started accomplishing our mission. But while we're doing all these things, there's 3 things that we need for each of you. The first one, and probably the most important one, is your prayers. Because as you know, we are in one of the worst recessions that our country has ever experienced. It's not the ideal time to be opening a nonprofit agency that is going to depend on the giving of the general public. Because let's be honest, a lot of folks don't have a whole lot of extra cash to give right now. The second thing we need is, of course, if you can help us financially, we would appreciate it. Because we've got a number of things that, as I've laid out, that we want to accomplish, and all of it's going to take adequate resources. But I'm confident that with the Lord's wisdom and with the team that we've been able to assemble, plus when you consider the fact that we've got the best CPA on the face of the planet.
That's right. That's right.
I think we'll be able to do a lot with whatever resources the Lord does bless us with. Thirdly, we're going to need a group of volunteers to help us get our work done and get our mission out there. If you would be interested in volunteering with us, even if you don't know the first thing about organ and tissue donation, except that you sign up on the back of your driver's license, don't worry about it. We will train you. We will teach you what you need to know to help us save lives. The website is up. It went up last night. When you get home, if you want to check it out, very simple. SaveLivesTN.org. The blog is up. It's not complete, but it will be once I post a press release of what we've done today to it. Facebook page is in process, but both the Facebook page and the blog will be up and live and fully operational by the end of the weekend. As I said earlier, I appreciate everybody coming today. I really, really do. And like I said, we would covet your prayers as we go forward, because it's a big undertaking, a huge undertaking. But one of my other heroes was Dale Earnhardt. He had a saying that it's not always the fastest car that wins a race. It's the one that refuses to lose. I know the importance of organ donation firsthand, and this is not a race that I intend to lose.